Our story begins when a greedy landowner by the name of Manairons has finally obtained a magical artifact he has been looking for all along. The Canute. This artifact has allowed him to take control over us and our fellow Manairons to make some drastic change to the village of Villemont and its villagers. After a mysterious stranger frees you from this power, it is now up to us to free Villemont and help return the order back to normal. This is our playthrough of Manairons. Before we continue, I would like to thank the developers for providing me with a key through Keymailer. And with that said, I'll leave the word to our kind stranger to tell you the story in full.
Make yourselves comfortable and enjoy the story I'm about to tell you. A tale of contrasts between tradition and progress, between evolution and decadence. One day, a landowner named Manairons arrived in the humble village of Villemont. Brimming with money and ambition, he invested in the town commerce to achieve more power. Secretly, he put all his efforts into finding a magical artifact hidden in these lands. Thus he got the Canute, the source of power he so longed for. Upon using it, a wild maelstrom erupted, made up of dozens of little creatures, the Manairons.
Give us tasks to do, right now! If you don't, we'll destroy everything!
The Manairons set to work immediately. The village changed overnight, in an endless spiral of corruption. Under the influence of the magnificent spell, Villemont had become something else. Although the villagers initially accepted the changes, their attitude soon changed. Artisan shops were filled with bizarre changes. Their owners, powerless, watched as control was wrested from them. The village's spirit of craftsmanship was overcome by gloom. Manairons was now unstoppable, bringing with him that twisted and cold idea of progress. The Manairons kept working tirelessly. Could Villemont's destiny possibly be changed? It could be. Do you want to continue listening?
As you start your journey, you are introduced to Nai, who is a Manairon. You are freed from the spell of the Canute, and the voice of the stranger who freed you tells you to meet them on the Plaza de Villemont. With your flute in hand, you start exploring your first area. To start off, we learn the essential skills that we will need through the rest of the game. Moving objects with our flute, jumping, even started the game with a double jump, and of course, the means to attack. It isn't long till we meet our first villager, Manairons, the owner of the farmhouse that we currently find ourselves in. He has been tricked into a horrible deal, and his farmhouse is now being pestered by our fellow Manairons, who are under Manairons' control. We agree to help him, and in return he provides us with a new ability to play songs, which honestly really reminded me of Ocarina of Time. We spent the whole night learning this song, and we now gain the ability to reach greater heights. As we traverse through the rest of the level, we come across some of the traditional gaming elements such as switches and levers, jumping across platforms, beating up some more enemies. We make our way to the chicken coop, and eventually land ourselves on the first boss, Mechagull, a large mechanical chicken controlled by a Manairon. We make quick work of this boss and return peace to Paramos and his farmhouse. We finally get to set foot in the overworld map, the village of Villemont. Our first stop, the stranger that has freed us from the Canute, who is supposed to be meeting us in the plaza. And this is where we finally get a reveal on the identity of the person who has been helping us. A witch who has set up shop in the center of the village. The chaos we encountered in the pen was but a tip of the iceberg of all the dangers we are about to face. She insists we work together because of everything that has changed the village. Nobody will even as much as bat an eye towards her little shop, and the only thing we can do is take back the Canute from Manairons to break the spell on the Manairons. She says the best course of action is to turn the villagers back against Manairons. To help us, she teaches us our next song, Elephant, and this allows us to move larger objects that are too big for our tiny little hands. With new powers in hand, it's time for our next stop, the Obrador, the local bakery owned by Mercedes Dolcetta, who has until recently always been a cheery person, but now has been treating people in a very rudely manner. It is not long before we get to use our next song to move a very large weight, and we hop into the pipes of the bakery. We make our way to the bakery, solving some bakery-related puzzles, such as sorting cupcakes. We encounter some enemies before they faced, alongside some new ones that, for some reason, want to throw honey at us. There was this very particular wall that seemed important, but we'll come back to this later. Continuing to the fire and flames of the ovens and stoves from the bakery, we arrive at the final boss of this area, Monsieur Dolcetta, who's decided to go full ash on us with a mixer attachment for a hand. Groovy. She tries to stir us up with her hand, and after a couple of attempts we beat her and we eject sucrose Manairon from her head. Mercedes thanks us and suggests we give Yorenz a special gift, a shushu, with a special condiment good for his intestinal flora. Did we just give him a laxative? Yes, we did. After checking back in with the witch, she tells us that Mariamon needs our help once again. His rooster is still missing. While we were away, he managed to tidy up the henhouse and left us a key to an older section of it. Maybe the rooster wandered in there. So without wasting any time, we head inside to search for it. Turns out it's a pretty small job, and once again, we have to make our way to our fellow Manairons, gathering power sources along the way and solving a classic puzzle by pulling a set of levers in the right order. And just like that, the rooster is freed. Our next stop introduces us to a woman named Console, the wife of the famous cobbler Bernat Batoum. Something strange is going on. For no clear reason, Bernat refuses to see her or their son, and she is convinced that something isn't right. Because of our small size, she asks us to sneak into the next area, the Sabbateria, and find out what's really going on. Before we go, she teaches us something new, after learning that it's music that brings out our power. Console shares a melody with us. With her knowledge of notation, she introduces us to the song La Gaspua. This melody lets us reactivate certain elements in the world around us. After we enter the cobbler's workshop, we quickly put our new melody to use. It helps us to revert a power unit from off to on, opening the door below and letting us through. Throughout the game, we encounter more of these units, each controlling different elements, doors, platforms, and more. Of course, we'll still need our old melodies too. We'll need every melody we learn to progress through each level. And soon enough, we stand eye to eye with the cobbler, armed with some mechanized claws, I assume controlled by Manairons. This battle took a couple of tries, but we prevailed and freed the cobbler. Once freed, the cobbler is furious to what Yorenz has done to his family and his craft. In a small act of revenge, he makes a pair of boots that are way too tight for Yorenz's feet. He tells Yorenz this is normal because the boots are so high quality that only the truly worthy can wear them without pain. This reminds me of the children's story of The Emperor's New Clothes. Have you ever heard of it? With the cobbler now free, our next destination is the Yogateria. A strange melody has been coming from this place, disturbing the sleep of the villagers, and the complaints are piling up. We receive a new melody from the witch, Sabotatke, which is clearly a sabotage, allowing us to break certain elements around us. Afterwards, we make a quick drop by at Merce the baker. She needs our help. She wants the conveyor belts in her bakery set up by the Manairons gone. She noticed that the Manairons are using a melody to propel themselves upwards. And after working with the Manairons for so long, she picked up the melody subconsciously, and she teaches it to us. The melody is called Vulcans, and with that, we get our final melody of the game, focusing on the task at hand. We go to the Yogateria. This place is controlled by a Manairon called Malafil. The witch warns us there is a large gap that with our current abilities we cannot cross, but we try anyway and fail, spectacularly. The witch suggests we visit Bernat, and we do so, and he provides us with a solution. As a thanks, he provides us with an upgrade for our flute, and we gain the ability to triple jump. He gives us an additional request, if we have the time for it later, is to fix his sewing machine, something we're more than happy to do later. Back to the Yogateria, and we jump over the large gap without problem. Not far into the level is where we run into a little circus, run by Malafil, who wants to treat us as a little guinea pig. Proceed, we need to complete 3 of our trials. Chess, shell games, and some red light green light. Without problem, we handle them all. And finally, we face a puppet controlled by Malafil. We swiftly beat her, calm her down, and tell her to stop bothering the villagers. And she builds some horrendous toys for Yorenz, who's not happy about this. Next up, we go back to the bakery, and remember the mysterious wall? Well, we can now use Vulcans to go upwards, and go towards the conveyor belts, navigating them, and there are many traps on the way. At the end of this, we find one more lever puzzle, we play Sabotage and destroy the conveyor belts. Mercy can now bake her cakes again with the authenticity that the villagers love. Now to fulfill another promise, we help the cobbler with his sewing machine. A few switches, a missing part, and the machine is up and running again. Console also has another request for us. She humbly requests that we retrieve the doll from her son in the Yogateria. We go to the Yogateria and have another encounter in Malafil. This time we get a platforming sequence where we have to flee from a dragon. The platforming sequence ends with us saving the princess, which is a doll by the way. Console's overjoyed and rewards us. We pick up all the rewards we haven't picked up yet, including 2 flute parts, which means it's upgrading time. Renat will happily do this, giving our flute 2 more upgrades, which is the maximum upgrades we can get. This now allows us to charge melee attacks and range attacks, which I didn't really use. Lorenz is panicking. He's noticing that the villagers aren't listening to him anymore. He's gonna prepare a speech, but first he's gonna go to the barber to get a little haircut, which is the perfect time for us to snatch the key from him, because he carries the key on him at all times, and the barber is his right-hand man. So to the barber we go. Over there, a robot armed with a scissor and razor attacks us. We fight back, defeat it, and we snatch the key. We witness Lorenz in the barber's chair. As he is panicking, the barber accidentally cuts off half his mustache. It's finally time to head towards the mansion. Manairons try to stop us, but we push through and confront Lorenz. Surprising, he has regrown his mustache already. He fails to stop us, and we defeat him, play a song through a megaphone to let the town know they're free. Peace finally returned to Villamont. Lorenz makes one last stand, claiming that the town is bettered because of him, but he's taken away. With the canute in hand, we bring it to the witch, she breaks the spell, and we are finally free. Or so we thought, because the witch betrays us. She wanted Canute and its power for herself all along. One final battle begins, and this time we get to do a little bit of a rhythm game, which was kind of fun. After a long and rhythmic battle, we destroy the Canute, finally freeing the rest of the Manairons. The witch vows to never return again, but warns us that forevermore we will be enemies. And with that, the story closes for now. Who knows what adventures await Nye and the Manairons next. But for now, the story ends here. I would like to once again thank the developers for providing me with a key to the game. For one, I did run into a few glitches here and there. I would glitch to the wall, or I would get stuck playing a melody. But those are things that happen, and I'm sure the updates will follow. I may showcase some of the glitches that happened over here. I really like the voice acting. I like having voice acting. Makes my life a little easier. They are really good voices too, so kudos on all of that. One thing I would say I have a little critique on is the flute upgrades. The last 2 upgrades providing with a melee charge and a ranged attack charge really were not that useful. There simply didn't seem to be a beneficial use to using them. As for the story, it's a really fun and simple story, but it was a good story. It was already fairly obvious that the witch was going to betray us, but I think that was intended. I would have loved to really know what happened to Lorenz more, like did he get thrown in jail, did he leave the village like the witch did? And if there was ever a sequel to the game, I think I'll probably play that too. I am not really sure what else I could mention. The platforming, once again, it is a platform, which makes it a relatively simple game, but that's usually what platformers are. I really like that there really wasn't any backtracking. Any side quests you had to do were relatively straightforward. You could just fast travel to the point where you needed to be without having to do the entire level over again, which is something I am really grateful for. I really enjoyed the soundtrack, and I will definitely be incorporating some of that in my streams. For like my starting soon screen, the ending, an intermission screen, that kind of thing. So without further ado, with that I am going to end the video here. I would like to thank everyone for watching. If you liked it, give me a like. If you disliked it, give it a dislike. This was also my first time ever doing a voiceover recording like this, so I hope it's of decent quality. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more of this, or let me know in the comment section down below if you would like to see more of this. Perhaps like game suggestions or the like. If you would like to catch me live, I stream live on Twitch and over here on this channel as well. Any of my social media you can find in the description and down below. But with that, as always, I'll see you guys next time.